Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a complicated stack of sources and, well, we give you the strategic shortcut. Today we're looking at a phenomenal piece of strategic asymmetry. The F-111 Aardvark.
A jet that was, a certified disaster for the United States.
Absolutely. Yet for the Royal Australian Air Force, the RAAF, it became this national icon. They even had a nickname for it.
Pig, affectionately.
Affectionately, yeah. And to really get its legacy, we have to start with this just terrifying visual, the dump and burn.
Oh, it's incredible.
I want you to picture this. A 40,000-pound swing-wing jet just tearing across the night sky, but it's on fire.
Literally on fire. They're dumping raw fuel into the afterburner.
It's absurd. It's spectacular. And that image, that demonstration of power, defined Australian air defense for almost 40 years.
And that's the core irony, isn't it? That powerful symbol of Australian capability was born from one of the most politically compromised and frankly disastrous U.S. military programs ever, the TFX.
America's problem child.
Exactly. So our mission today is to figure out how this deeply flawed American design became Australia's long-range fist. It's a perfect case study in how strategic need can just override everything else.
Okay, let's unpack that. And to get why Australia loved the pig, we can't start with the tech, we have to start with geography.
Exactly right. You have to understand Australia's foundational military challenge. They call it the tyranny of distance.
Right.
Australia is a continent. It's an island. Its neighbors are thousands of kilometers away across vast oceans. So your potential threats are distant.
But so are your friends.
Precisely. So for Australia, the ability to project power to aggressively reach a target thousands of kilometers away, that's not a nice to have. It's non-negotiable.
So contrast that very clear, very specific need with the absolute chaos of the F-111's origin story, the TFX program in the 60s.
A classic Pentagon fiasco.
Engineered by Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. He had this obsession with commonality.
Right. Forcing different branches to use the same gear to save money.
And he issued this just disastrous directive.
Yeah.
The U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Navy had to use the same plane. Mandatory.
And their needs were, they were fundamentally incompatible.
Completely. The Air Force needed a low-level, supersonic nuclear bomber.
And the Navy needed a fleet defender, something that could loiter for a long time and, crucially, land slowly on an aircraft carrier.
Trying to smash those two roles into one compromised the aircraft from day one.
The results were predictable. A disaster. The plane was way too heavy for carriers.
So it completely failed the Navy's main requirement.
Entirely. And the early models were just plagued with problems. Structural failures in the wing box, notorious engine stalls. When Australia committed to buying this thing, it looked like strategic insanity to the outside world.
That's the U.S. view. But for Australia, only one thing really mattered, so why stick with it? Why buy this complex, expensive, failing aircraft?
Because all those flaws you mentioned, the weight, the specialization as a low-level bomber, Canberra didn't care. They didn't have aircraft carriers. They didn't need a dogfighter. They needed one thing and one thing only. Range. The complexity was just the price they had to pay for a strategic reach that was completely unmatched at the time.
So for them, it was really a strategic bomber disguised as a tactical fighter.
That's a perfect way to put it. It understood the assignment of distance better than anything else out there.
And that capability gave them huge strategic leverage in the region.
Massive. Let's look at a specific metric. From a base in northern Australia, an F-111 could fly all the way to Jakarta, bomb the presidential palace, and fly all the way back home without refueling.
Without refueling. That changes everything. That changes the entire strategic calculation for any regional power.
It absolutely does.
But, the range is only half the story. The how of its attack run is what really made it so terrifying. It was designed to be, virtually unstoppable.
And this all comes down to its revolutionary tech.
The terrain-following radar.
The TFR.
The TF.
Right. It's a system that uses radar to map the ground in front of the plane, mountains, water, whatever, and a computer automatically flies the jet.
Which let this enormous plane scream across the ocean at over Mach 1.
Supersonic.
It's a couple hundred feet off the deck. And it could do it in bad weather, at night. Didn't matter.
So the first warning an adversary would ever get would be the sonic boom of the plane arriving.
Followed immediately by their world exploding.
Yeah. There was no defense against that at the time. It was a true checkmate weapon.
And that capability alone, that gave Australia what you call a big stick.
It did. Its mere existence was a powerful, silent form of psychological warfare. A strategic sledgehammer they almost never had to actually swing.
We have a perfect real-world example of that, right? The 1999 East Timor crisis.
It's a textbook case of deterrence.
So you have Australian-led peacekeepers moving in, and Indonesia's making a lot of threatening noises, trying to escalate things.
They were, yeah.
The RAAF's response wasn't some public press conference. They just quietly put their F-111 fleet on high alert.
Fully armed with laser-guided bombs.
And the message to Jakarta, while totally unspoken, was crystal clear. Interfere with this, and we can level your critical infrastructure before you even know what's happening.
And the threats just stopped.
Gone.
The F-111 never fired a shot in anger for Australia. It never had to. Its reputation did all the fighting. That's successful deterrence.
Which brings us back to that nickname, the pig.
Right. It sounds like an insult, but it wasn't.
No, it was deep affection. It was for a plane that could, fly low, get dirty, and carry a massive load of bombs. It was rugged.
And that brings us full circle to the dump and burn. We talked about the visual, but the psychology is what matters.
Right. It's not just a party trick.
No. The fire itself is just unburnt fuel being vented into the afterburner's exhaust.
And our source material calls it a peacock display, which is perfect.
It is. It's an arrogant display of power. It communicates, look how much fuel and capacity I can afford to just set on fire for your entertainment.
Now imagine what I can do if I'm actually aiming at you.
Exactly. But like all specialized 1960s designs, it couldn't last forever. By the 2000s, the pig was old. It was a maintenance nightmare.
Just a catastrophic one, kept flying by willpower and astronomical budgets.
Beds tell the whole story.
They really do. To keep just one F-111 ready to fly, it took over 180 hours of maintenance.
It's just unsustainable. The complexity that gave it that unique edge eventually made it prohibitively expensive.
So its final flight was in 2010. Australia moved on to the FA-18 Super Hornet and now the F-35.
Which are great advanced fighters.
Yeah.
But they are not the F-111.
No, they don't have that incredible strategic reach. They don't have that physical presence, that soul.
That ability to psychologically deter an opponent.
Yeah.
And if we want to connect this to the bigger picture, here's the final beautiful piece of irony. Decades after the U.S. retired its own F-111s because they were too specialized and expensive.
What is the U.S. Air Force spending billions on right now?
A new long-range penetrating strike bomber, the B-21 Raider.
So what does that all mean? It means the U.S. is relearning the exact lesson that the F-111 taught and that Australia never forgot.
That in the Pacific, in that vast empty space, range isn't just everything.
It's the only thing.
I think so. The F-111 was born from political failure. It was a maintenance headache, specialized almost to a fault. But in the right hands, for the right mission, it was perfect, untouchable.
Reminder that the best weapon isn't always the newest one.
It's the one that understood the assignment.
So that leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to chew on. Our deep dive showed the planes that came after the F-111 lacked its unique range and psychological punch. So thinking about that, what specific retired military aircraft, one you love, would you bring back into service today based purely on strategic necessity, and why? That's your assignment.
The good work.
That's our deep dive into the beloved fire-breathing pig. We'll catch you next time.